I seen that, during your BMF time that there was a fight between BMF and 3 6 Mafia.
Mm-hmm. That happened. I think it was All-Star Weekend. I believe that was All-Star Weekend, or was that DTP? But yeah, it was a couple times that we was in. We would go to Magic City. We would go to Club 112. And like I say, man, it was. We had fights for a lot of people, entourages, man. Like what I'm saying, going in VIP, stepping on somebody's shoes, somebody pushing you, saying "fuck BMF," and then now we busting these niggas over the head with bottles. Like I mean, a lot of times. I don't remember like not one time or hearing stories about we lost. You know what I'm saying? Like God was with us. Like, you know, we had a fight with Big Boy Security. I don't know. Big Boy Security was at 112. And like I say, we all got bottles and them niggas is big. They all big. And we end up, the bottles became a weapon. Like we end up busting niggas over the head with the bottles, man. And we had a lot of fights. We had to kick ass and take names, man. Being out there in Atlanta, being some out of town niggas, being in a state that we wasn't from. People seeing us ball in their city like that, they didn't like that shit. 3 6 Mafias and them people, they didn't like to see us dope boy niggas coming into the clubs looking better than them, balling harder than them. They supposed to be these big time rappers. They got one bottle in their section, but we all got bottles and we all got chains on, and we're nobodies. And we used to embarrass people, man. We used to entourages, man. It was like a lot of rap people, a lot of people getting jealous, man, like, of us, man. You know what I'm me?
So how'd it go down with 3 6 Mafia?
Well, basically, like I said, we was going through VIP. Somebody stepped on somebody's shoes. Somebody was talking shit. You feel me?
I mean, do you remember, fighting any of them or specifically?
I remember the homies being in front of us. They going into their entourage, and then it was just a scuffle, man, like between bodyguards and they bodyguards and shit. And I'm in the back, I bust a nigga in the head with a bottle, bow, like, you feel me? And I'm seeing Juicy J and you know what I'm saying, Project Pat, different motherfuckers, man, you know what I'm saying? They clicking shit there, man. It was shit crazy, bro. Like, yeah, it was like them Tennessee niggas, man, it wasn't like they was knocking niggas out too. They hit a couple niggas up in the head with bottles and shit, you feel me? But other than that, like, yeah, it was a lot of times we ran into entourages. Like, that was just one example. Like, I wasn't there when the stem of it, but like, you getting in the club, you imagine just going to the club, it's like 100 of y'all, and then all of a sudden you see your boys fighting, you jumping along with it. You don't give a fuck what happened. You know what I'm saying? I believe like we was going to their section or something like that, and we deep in shit, and people telling them, oh, sometimes maybe they might have been in our section. You feel me? And we in the club now, like, no, get it. It's our section. It's us. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, a lot of shit stemmed from that. And I think it would kind of stem from shit like that, because we was walking into the VIP area, and the next thing you know, niggas would start fighting. And all I know is I'm grabbing a bottle and I'm hitting motherfuckers too, because they bodyguards was bigger than us. But we won that fight through the help of the bottles, you feel me? Like, niggas was fucking laid out. We got the fuck up out of that motherfucker though, you feel me? Go to the next party, you know what I'm saying?
How old were you when you got jumped in?
Maybe like about 15 or 16. You feel me? I was jumped in with my brothers and shit at Darby Park with niggas and shit, hanging with them, and got to a squabble with about 4 or 5 niggas, and next thing you know it, the homies are sweating me like, hey man, you gotta go on missions, nigga. We go on missions. That's how you earn your respect around here, is you go on missions. And you know what I'm saying? And when I was in the Inglewood family, living around that time, I wasn't really going on missions, and it came later. My missions came later when I moved to Swan neighborhood, which was our brother neighborhood. Swans, Inglewood families, they share a block called Nine Deuce. Nine Deuce go all the way. So we had a day called Nine Deuce Day, and then but when my dad, moved, we broke up with my mom, and I was in the Swan neighborhood, and I got older, I started doing dirt with them, and I learned that they was brothers with my brothers in Inglewood. So my dirt came from being with the Swans, you know what I'm saying? The Inglewood family days, my boy Snugs, Ride Dog was always a rider. Bisco was always a rider. You feel me? Them niggas was, getting into big shit, going back and forth to jail. Niggas getting in wars and shit, and they telling us, hey man, don't walk around here, bro, because we into it with these niggas. My nigga Snugs, rest in peace, was Bisco. Nobody could walk in our neighborhood with blue on. You feel me? Like, You had blue on, you take them shoes off. Like, you know, my boy Snuds, we was rolling one time. I'm in the car and shit on Crenshaw and Manchester. So nigga got blue on. He make the nigga take blue off, and you gotta take this shit off, bro. We can kill you right here. Or we can fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So my neighborhood had a big reputation for, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had a lot of wars going on with the 6-0s and shit. So around that time in the 90s, stemming to the 2000s, I went transition with Big Beach and went to Atlanta. But my neighborhood, yeah, we didn't. The neighborhoods, we got a lot of history of killing each other. But it's crazy because one of my friends I produced for was Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. He was from over there, and just to, you know, music was for us. Music was it was a bridge gap for our different neighborhoods to how I met Blue. You know, music.
We get in all that. We get in all
Absolutely.
that. What was high school like for you?
High school was cool. I mean, it was crazy. Like I grew up in Inglewood. I went to I was a blood, so I said, you know, you had to know where you want to go to school at. You know what I'm saying? If you was a Crip, you had to know where you were going to go. If you was a blood, you had to know where you were going to go to school at, because there was going to be problems. You wasn't going to learn in them schools. So I went to Morningside. I went to all blood schools. I went to Morningside, and I went to Centennial. I went to Verbum Day. My dad had me in private school. I was in my 7th grade, 8th grade year. I was in St. Eugene. I went to Verbum Day. It was an all-boys school in Compton. In Watts. So I had bad grades. My dad was paying. He was like, man, you got to go to a public school. So I ended up going to Morningside. It was a blood school. Morningside was crazy. All the Crenshaw Mafias was up in there. You feel me? My baby mama, my first baby mama, was dating one of them niggas. You feel me? I didn't know she was my baby mama until later. You feel me? She was dating one of them niggas. I didn't like her. I liked her a lot, but she liked them the killers. You feel me? At that time, I wasn't no killer. I was just hanging around, claiming the gang, banging. You feel me? She was dating the killers. You feel me? And she thought she was pregnant by a killer from over there. You feel me? But I ended up being a baby daddy. She was my friend. We had relations. But yeah, at that motherfucking school, Crenshaw, Morningside, yeah, it was a Crenshaw Mafia Inglewood family based school.
Did any Crips go there at all?
If you was a Crip that checked in, you was checking out in the next week or so, because you was getting sweated that whole week. The whole first week of Morningside, even being at Centennial, because Suge Knight was my football coach at Centennial. But even any blood school that you went school, if you checked in, you was from out of bounds, that first week you was checking out, or you was getting beat up, or you was, bringing your people up there to try to, to retaliate. But yeah, a lot of schools of Crenshaw High, Locke High, Morningside, these are Bloods and Crip schools. Like
Crenshaw High, that's a Crip school, right?
If you was a blood checking up in there, the first week you probably was checking up out of that motherfucker, or you was tucking your tail. You feel me? You wasn't telling him where you were from. You feel me? Like a lot of schools in the 80s, 90s, you wasn't, if you was out of bounds, living somewhere else, and you checked in that school, moving, like your mom moved to a certain area, and you was from somewhere else, and you was known and you was reputable, you was checking up out that motherfucker quick, you know what I'm saying, within a week. So, Morningside, yeah, any Crips that checked into Morningside within a week, after that, you was getting beat up, checked out, or you was tucking your tail.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.